Good evening, beautiful people of Lake Orion. I hope you're staying warm out there. My name's Ian Witherspoon, and I'm between Taorminas.
You're shaved.
Shut up. Oh, well, hello. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program.
Yeah?
Yeah? How you doing?
You're shaved.
I know I'm shaved.
Good for you.
I want to look
Might
more like
be
a
your best
Taormina.
look.
You think
Might
so?
be your best look.
It's hard to lean back in these chairs with this little coat hook here, you know?
Mm-hmm. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You can hang your clothes to dry while we're doing the show, right on the hook.
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett, eat your heart out.
Farrah Fawcett.
God bless that heart. You would have been yours.
She could have been mine.
Could have been yours.
Darn it. Well, anyways, how you boys been?
Tired.
Tired? Why are you always tired?
I've been working on papers all day.
You've been working on papers.
Yeah. I'm still in school, you know.
You're still in school?
Terrible.
Getting close though, huh?
Yeah.
Getting close. You working?
Yeah, they actually. I won't go into details.
You won't go into
No.
the
It's better. It's better if the humanoids don't know. It's better if the humanoids don't
Let's
know.
just go to sports. We got football to talk
you want to talk about football, don't you?
Yes.
What happened yesterday?
You know, Richard Sherman had a really nice chant yesterday. Really nice rant.
A rant, not a
rant.
chant.
A rant.
Not a chant.
A rant.
A rant.
A rant about how average Michael Crabtree is as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Crabtree was one of the best players that Texas Tech's ever produced
In college,
in college.
he hasn't really done a whole lot
no
in the pros.
no, and then to see Richard Sherman do that diss, you know, I think he's clearly is the best corner in football.
Was he out of line with it at all?
No,
No.
no.
You
I
don't
he
think
was.
so?
No, he was not.
Tell me why he was not out of line.
Because here's why. Richard Sherman, a lot of people said he's been imaged. He used to play his college ball at Stanford for Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
So this had a lot more personal to him
Right.
than it was to in
Crabtree.
that game. To
Okay.
Crabtree. Michael Crabtree, yeah, he's a good receiver, but I don't know if I would have been throwing to him on that last drive, especially testing Richard Sherman.
Tell me why he was out of line.
I think there has to be a sense of professionalism. I understand that it is a rivalry game. I mean, Seattle and San
Going to the
Francisco
Super
are
Bowl
rivals.
too. All the marbles
But
down.
at the same time, you have to be humble because it's not very often you get to go to the Super Bowl. And I think that it was a little bit. I said I posted on my Facebook and Twitter that the interview, what he said was interesting.
Interesting.
But at the end of the day, it's still very unprofessional. You need to stay classy. You need to be humble. Just be glad that he's in the Super Bowl. Not very many people get that opportunity to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, and that's going to follow him. That's going to follow him for a long, long time. But he can back it up.
That's the difference.
Is he can back it up.
Right.
But he needs to be a little more humble.
So you're more of a Barry Sanders type celebration.
Let's go with that.
Barry Sanders never went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but when he scored a touchdown, he just handed the ball back to the ref,
Yeah.
He didn't gloat, he didn't talk.
Right.
Just played.
Right.
That's more your style, huh?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, this he likes to brag a little bit.
Yes, I like to
You
brag.
like to trash talk.
Of course. Of course. I thought Richard Sherman did what's the right thing. And, of course, Bill Belichick, today is crybabying about how bad Wes Welker abused Rashad Tlaib. You know what I mean?
Hakeem Tlaib.
Hakeem Tlaib, yeah.
Hakeem.
Hakeem, yeah.
Hakeem?
Yeah, Hakeem.
Yeah. How about that game? Denver Patriots. Are we surprised with the outcome?
No, because I think Denver would have won that game because they had too many weapons. They had Wes Welker, who knew New England's playbook. And, of course, I think if you're a Patriots fan, you're glad the season's over because, I mean, because
So you're
you
going
had
to tell
the-
Johnny Glinski and you're going to tell Pat Roan and both of them that they're glad that this season's
They're
over.
glad the season's over because they had the whole Aaron Hernandez arrest right on them. And
Gronkowski.
I think, and of course, he had Ron Gronkowski injured, but you know what missed him the most? Aaron Hernandez going to prison. That's what cost this team this season.
Well, you know, Denver did have the weapons. Denver was at home. New England, however, did have a chance to come back in the game. I mean, if you look at, like, you know, Tom Brady scored a touchdown, and it was very, very close with, like,
Why would you
5
run a
minutes to
draw
go.
play
But
on a
let me
two-point
finish.
conversion?
But then they went for a 2-point conversion. The 2-point conversion failed. And that kind of ended the ball game right there. I mean, what if that 2-point conversion had succeeded? Then it would have been an 8-point game. Then what if New England recovered the onside kick? We'd be talking about a whole other ball game right now.
Are we surprised, though, at how lackluster the Patriots kind of looked? They didn't look that good on offense.
No, we knew New England was going to be that good on offense.
Well, the
Anyway,
week before, they ran all over the Colts.
Right, but here's the thing. New England had a lot of whole new guys here on that team. You know, a lot of no names that you don't know about.
They always do.
They always do. But here's the thing. I think missing Gronkowski really hurt this team. And I know that Aaron Hernandez going to prison definitely hurt this team.
Okay.
I think you have to give credit to Tom Brady for running with what he had. And I think that, you know, Tom Brady did make that team, you know, better than it was. They did get 12 wins this year. You know, and a lot of people counted New England out. And yet, there they were. They won the AFC East. They won, and they were in the AFC Championship game. I mean, that's a credit to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I mean, as much as we don't like to hear about New England is a very consistent program, and they've been consistent for a long, long time. And the key thing is that nucleus, particularly of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
You know what would really? I agree. That's best in NFL history in my mind.
But you have to also give credit to the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning returning to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Also,
Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey. You know, Wes Welker, those weapons going back to Denver going to the Super Bowl for the first time since the Elway era. It's going to be very interesting to see what Denver does in the Super Bowl with arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Seattle will have the 12th man with them.
They will not. So when we get down to brass tacks, it's the best offense versus the best defense. Right? Is that what we all wanted?
Yeah. I
Yeah?
think it didn't surprise me seeing Denver and Seattle. I think that they were both the two best teams all year. I think that they both deserved to get in the Super Bowl. I think that Denver and Seattle, both of them, it's going to be a very interesting matchup because it's a fresh matchup in the eyes of fans. You don't get to see this matchup very often, and it's a very, very fresh matchup. It's certainly something worth looking forward to in 2 weeks.
We'll get into it a little more next week, maybe.
Yeah.
About the matchup. Is that kosher?
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 No.
Not kosher?
No.
Oh, okay. Anything else about the games over the weekend you want to add here before we go to break?
Well, San Francisco is out. New England is out. Two traditionalist powers.
I'd like to thank the Denver Broncos
But
for
it's
knocking New
also-
England out because, real quick, imagine if New England won the Super Bowl. Do we remember who just won the World Series?
Boston.
Oh, yeah, Boston.
Could you imagine how insufferable those people would have been?
Yes.
They're not bad enough, right?
Yes.
You'll credit the it's going to be the old guard versus the new guard. New England the old guard versus new guard. Denver versus Seattle should be fun.
Okay, I agree.
I can't imagine Pat Ronan and Johnny Glinski dancing and celebrating if Boston and New England will have won baseball and football championships. I can't imagine.
That would be terrible.
I would have had to move to
Cape Cod.
somewhere else. No.
All
right.
Cape Cod.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about our Lions. They're not in the Super Bowl, and they never will be. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Gentlemen, how are you going?
How am I going?
Yeah, how are you
going good. Hey,
You going?
I'm going.
You're going.
Sam, you moving?
Yeah, I like these new chairs.
Yeah?
It makes me feel old.
Makes you feel old?
Yes,
You like
it
to
does.
feel old?
Yes.
Speaking of
Why?
old, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. They recently got a new coach. I feel like this is old news to us. But,
I feel like
gentlemen,
it's
what do you
sorry
think
news.
what do you think about that?
Jim Caldwell. This was a guy whose offense this year was 29th in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he also coached a 2-14 Indianapolis Colts team.
Yeah.
That without Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I mean, what would get me impressed, besides Tony Dungy giving so much praise to Jim Caldwell, what gets me excited about that? If it was Jim Harbaugh that came over here,
Now
that would have
you're
made
talking.
me excited.
Now you're talking.
Or Ken Wisenhunt.
Eh.
But Jim Caldwell coming here when the Ravens were about to fire him? That's terrible. Terrible hire for the Lions. Terrible.
Terrible hire.
Horrible hire.
Ian, explain, what do you think?
Well, there's a few things that concern me with Jim Caldwell. One, his record as a head coach at college. Not good.
Not good.
And he was in the ACC
Yes.
at Wake Forest.
Yep.
Okay?
Terrible.
Not good. That scares me a little bit. The 2-14 record scares me. The offensive coordinator role last year scares me. He did win a Super Bowl, right? As an
he did.
offensive coordinator.
And, yeah.
He did go to a Super Bowl as a head coach. So there's pros and cons here. What I'm wondering though is, can he be a head coach? You know?
No.
My viewpoint is, remember you and I, Sammy, went to the Lions-Ravens game. We saw how Caldwell coaches his offense.
6 field goals. That's what they got that day.
They got 6 field goals.
Yeah.
yes,
They still
but-
won that game.
Yeah, well.
But that had nothing to do with the offense. The offense was absolutely terrible. Absolutely just awful. And to see that Jim Caldwell's going to coach the Lions, he's got to impress in order for the Lions to, he's got to get some wins. He's got to be very successful.
Gotta go to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, and that's the big thing. Is he's got to go to the playoffs.
He doesn't. Well, here's the thing. As a Lions fan, I'm really frustrated with the way this team has been. Is it seriously time for William Clay Ford to sell the team? I think it is.
I think it's been 30 years past the time.
30 years maybe. But here's the thing. It's just the ownership has been atrocious. Bill Ford Sr. has been garbage. Bill Ford Jr. has been garbage. And then you look at
Except for Ford Motor Company.
And then you look at the Lions. They've been garbage. They haven't won a championship since. And this was before our mom was born.
Right, 1957.
Yes, and they've been rebuilding since 1957. So they really, do they have any stability? My answer to you is no. They don't have a good offense. Their defense is atrocious. I mean, heck, even I thought Rex Ryan would have been a great move for this team.
That's pushing it.
And yet, he's not coming over here.
Well, he got re-signed.
I was very upset about that. He got re-signed by the Jets. I wanted him to be the next coach of the Detroit Lions. That would have been stabilized. He could have had a great offensive coordinator. I mean, with that defensive mind.
Well,
you know what I mean?
look, the Lions have the pieces to win. And that's the most, you've got a Calvin Johnson, you got a Stafford, you've got a Ndamukong Suh, you've got a Nick Fairley. You got the pieces are there. It just comes down to winning. It just comes down to discipline. Because the Lions are probably the least disciplined team in the NFL, along with the penalties.
So that brings up a few questions then. Stafford's been off, but everybody knows, it's been well documented, the man has incredible talent, right?
Right, but you cannot live off of talent. You have to get it done.
Can Caldwell bring out the talent and create results with Stafford
I
and the
got
Lions?
2 words for you. No. Here's
That's
why.
one
Where's
word.
the second word?
Second word.
No way.
Oh, okay,
Here's
okay.
why. Here's why. Are you sure you can coach Stafford's sidearm throwing? He's just gonna throw interceptions.
Okay.
And are you gonna coach his mechanics? His mechanics are awful. I understand that he claims to be a good quarterbacks coach, but I just don't buy it. I mean, this Lions team has been, they're just flirting
Look what he did with Joe
disaster.
Flacco. Look at what he did with Joe Flacco.
I think he ruined Joe Flacco. And then,
Last year,
yeah,
he won the Super Bowl, man.
yeah, but still, Jim Caldwell is an unproven. He's still very unproven to me. I mean, like, you're right, his college coaching concerns me. A 2-14 season, despite the fact he didn't have Peyton Manning. The reason why Tony Dungy respects him and hired him, it's because
And encouraged the Lions.
and encouraged the Lions to hire him. It's because he himself didn't want to come over to Detroit and coach the team himself. That's why he's got a stooge to coach over there.
A stooge?
Yep,
Wow.
a stooge.
A stooge.
Yep.
So
a
you're calling
stooge.
Jim Caldwell a stooge?
Absolutely, he's a stooge.
So it's safe to say, Sammy, you don't think this is going to work out.
You don't think
You just watch the next. You just watch. I will guarantee you, by September, October, November, by 2014, we talk about this in the 3-year anniversary. We're gonna talk how bad this move was.
Do you agree or do you care to debate?
I need
Help
to see
me out,
results.
please.
I need to
I
see
know
the
you see results.
I need to see the result before I can conclude this point. But right now, he's got a legit point for now. In which, is he a stooge? I don't know. But is he a?
What about this? What about this? The fact that the Lions didn't get the guy they wanted,
No.
right? They wanted Wisenhunt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that give you any confidence?
No.
Because if the Lions wanted him, that must mean he probably sucks, right? Right? You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that help you out at all? They didn't get the guy they wanted. Maybe the guy they didn't really want. Maybe he's actually good.
Jim
I didn't
Caldwell,
like that the
no.
Lions went for offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. I think they should have went for somebody that has a proven track record, and I've been openly said that.
Who's the guy you wanted that's available?
I would have rather wanted like a Tony Dungy or a Bill Cowher.
Not coming. Not coming. Next.
I wouldn't have minded a Harbaugh.
Not coming. They're not coming here, man.
No, they're
not
not.
going.
But why are they not
We're lucky
coming?
Jim Caldwell came here.
Jim Caldwell's going to lead this team to the brink of disaster, the brink of doom,
He's
the
not-
brink of destruction. This team here is going to struggle even worse when Jim Schwartz was here.
So they're going to win one game?
You win one game? You are with
0
Jim
games?
Schwartz. Isn't he with Cleveland now?
Maybe. They haven't made the official hire yet, have they?
Probably
I've
Josh
heard.
McDaniels being the coach over there.
Well, it's just a wait and see thing. I think it's just a wait and see approach.
see.
and-
Doom and gloom, and that's why you're going to see empty seats at Ford Field.
All right.
Oh,
I
hope
think
not.
the main man we need is already here. And his name is Brian Zanders. Brian Zanders, a special assistant to the GM or whatever. Did we notice how much the draft improved once Brian Zanders came?
Yes.
That's the guy we need to stick around. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Martin Mayhew, his drafts kind of been
Yeah.
Bad.
so
Hey,
yeah.
if I had somebody in the draft that I could trust, I would trust Vanna White more than I trust Jim Caldwell right now. That's how I feel.
Do you trust Vanna White
Yep.
coaching the Lions?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why?
God, I think that she can improve the Lions quickly. Quickly.
Quickly.
Yes.
Why? She's old.
She's not old. She can fix that team.
What, wear
With the
short
magic-
skirts or what?
No, with
Get the players motivated?
Yeah. Yeah, she can fix that
Have you
team.
been watching Wheel of Fortune?
No.
No?
No.
I think you
Yeah,
have.
watch. Yeah.
Does he watch Wheel of Fortune?
Once in a great while. But he just watch it.
But I would trust
do you-
anybody right now. I wouldn't even trust you
Really?
over Jim
Oh,
Caldwell.
that's-
I'm scared. If
I would
to trust
trust you.
Ian Weatherspoon over Jim Caldwell,
Yes.
to trust Ian Weatherspoon. That guy's a moron. That guy's a loser. That guy's evil.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this segment up here.
Oh, hi, Ian.
When we come back, Anthony won't be joining us. Stay tuned. Back to Between Taorminas. You're still here. That's good news. You're still here.
I trust the over Jim Caldwell.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm back, alive and kicking.
Live and kicking.
Alive and kicking.
All right, cool.
Pasa.
Que pasa? All right, Kilbasa. What's next? Lake Orion Athletics?
Talk about Lake Orion right now. What's going on? We're kind of like in that midpoint of the season.
The snooze fest time?
No.
Yeah, it's a lull in sports right now, you know.
Well, anyways,
Yeah.
talk about the boys and the girls basketball teams. Boys basketball team currently 3-4, playing Clarkston tomorrow. This team is kind of trying to figure out its identity.
Are you sure this team's got an identity right now? The way they're playing right now, it's just been, they can't, you got to outscore 29 against Oak Park, who doesn't have the 3 transfers, who had them back today, and of course you let the referees get in your head. That can't happen for this team. If this team wants to contend in the white this year, they gotta push it aside and focus on the team coming in hand, which is Clarkson's gonna be a very tough matchup for them. Then you got Avondale back in league play. So I just think that they gotta survive the storm right now.
I think that once they figure everything out, they're going to be just fine. I think that the most important thing is you got to, as I said, weather the storm right now. This is a very challenging ride, but I do see a lot of optimism. I do see a lot of positive things with the boys, and I think that it's still.
I just think Zach Green's got to score. He's got to start scoring.
It's not just him. It's everybody.
It's everybody.
Everybody's got a mesh right now, and right now everybody's
They're not meshing.
Well, they're going to get it fixed, and they're going to get
Defensively, they're a liability.
Defensively, they've gotten better.
I mean, 47 points against Seattle, but 60 against Oak Park. It's not good.
But I mean, for the 3 quarters against Oak Park, I mean, they only held them to like 38 points. So I mean, that's not a bad sign. This team can be a very good defensive team. I think the boys will bounce back, and I think that in a few weeks we'll be talking about a different boys basketball team.
We'll see.
What about the girls right now? The girls are 7-3. They are in a league race. They're playing with nothing to lose, as they're just having fun. What do you think?
Well, this is a team that is right now doing very well right now. I mean, of course, you don't have your second best player, Hannah Hamay, who got concussed.
Right.
But also you got to give a lot of credit. I think the coaching staff and the players. It was a 6-15 season they had a year ago. They've got more wins than they had last year. I think that they got a big one tomorrow against Rochester Adams. It's gonna be a really tough game because Adams has got Raven Owusu and Amber Jameson. That's gonna be a tough matchup, and then Bloomfield Hills in a rematch on a Friday when you got to deal with Shannon Wilson. Who, I don't think is that good, in my opinion.
What about hockey? Hockey right now is possibly a special year occurring there.
Talk to me in playoff time about hockey right now, because I think they're rolling right now, yes, but it depends on the match they get in hockey. If they get a good match in the playoffs, I think they're going to go far in the playoffs. I think they could go back to Plymouth.
That would be very, very nice. Wrestling.
Wow. They actually second place finish. I mean, like Marysville, but
they did lose one of their better wrestlers to injury.
Right, but you got to prove it in league record, especially in districts. That's going to be a very tough district, dangerous district.
Killer district.
Cheerleading doing very, very well.
They won Hudsonville. I mean, they got the Orion invite coming up this weekend. It'll be a good one. I think that right, and if the cheerleading can get some things fixed, some things corrected, you know what I mean? Especially hanging at Lake Orion Invitational, they're going to do some damage.
Powerlifting second place before we finish.
What about bowling? How are they doing?
Bowling is doing all right. They have had some good meets. They've had some bad ones as well.
They had a match with Troy today.
They have a match with Troy today.
How'd they do?
Gonna find out.
Gonna find out?
Yeah.
You don't know yet?
Not yet.
Why not?
Been busy.
You've been busy.
We'll find out bowling.
All right.
Well, let's do some call-outs a little bit.
Let's roll to the call-outs.
I want to focus on this week to have a little bit of, for some reason I tend to have problems with being realistic, being moralistic. You got to be honest. You got to be brash. You got to be up to the point. Lake Orion problems. Why? Lake Orion problems again. Why? It's simple. Look, you don't see it the way I see it. You don't see things the way that, I understand you don't like arguments, so what you're doing is when you don't like an argument, you tend to just wipe it away. You tend to pout, you tend to whine. That's nothing out of the ordinary. Because you just cannot understand truth, facts, and realism and honestism. Lake Orion problems, you can certainly do better. I mean, you look at the alumni that have come around, they've been through tougher weather than what you guys have been going through. Really have. You just don't see it. Lake Orion problems,
Get a clue.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You got it.
Of course, my call, of course, is this company has had an issue with DirecTV.
Uh-oh.
But then again, we all know DirecTV. Of course, we all know it's got some friends there. Anyway, what I'm going to call is for a different reason, and that is the Weather Channel. Weather Channel. Wow. Let's look at it here. Great reporting. Great. I don't understand why Al Roker's on there, but I like Jim Cantori.
Oh,
but the problem that I have is, am I set up? The problem I have is, why would you name winter storms? Isn't that set for hurricanes? Leave it like that. You don't need to name winter storms with these crazy chip-shot names.
They're Greek.
They're Greek names.
Wasn't one Ion?
Yes.
Why couldn't they name it Ian?
I wouldn't want to. They could have named after.
I don't want a storm named after Ian. That'd be horrible. I'd rather have a storm named Anthony than have it named Ian.
Who are they? Why would you do this? I don't understand that. You got two Purdue. Why would you decide to name winter storms when if you have more than 26 winter storms, then you're gonna run out of names.
Golly.
That's terrible. It's like you can name a winter storm Phoebe. No offense to the Phoebes in the world.
Phoebe with a P or an F?
B. No offense to all the Phoebes in the world. But everybody's gonna forget about Winter Storm Ion and Winter Storm Dion and all that. It doesn't add up. You're just using those names for yourselves. Get rid of the winter storm names. I don't see it on the National Weather Service website. I don't see it on the NBC website, ABC website, or even the NBC website, which you guys own. You guys are in. I'm just a little disappointed. Depressed. Sad. It's what it is.
It's winter.
It's winter. Terrible.
Dang. All right. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be all right.
All right. Should watch Fox 2 News instead.
No.
Okay. Click on Detroit, Channel 4.
I do follow. I'm a storm spotter, so.
Never
All
say
right.
never.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, till next week.
We'll have
Next
two
week.
special guests next week.
Two.
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 Wow.
Okay. Till next week with two special guests right here on Between Taorminas.